Gold is holding steady on Wednesday, trading just off its highest opening price in 6 years. So what are the biggest drivers to watch for from here? With me today is my co-host today, Todd Horwitz, Chief Market Strategist.
Great to be here with you.
Thanks for being with us, BubbaTrading.com. And from the floor of the CME, Phil Streible, Senior Market Strategist for RJO Futures. Phil, you get a double bonus today, me and Bubba.
I know, I'm excited.
What's up, Phil?
All right, Chicago's in the house today. Phil, break it down for us. Gold having a good start here this Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. I mean, gold was a little bit softer, though, with the trading action, and it was because of the dollar strength that put a bit of pressure on it. So I always like to monitor gold against other currencies. We saw the euro currency go into a big fall. So gold in euro terms pushing up to a new contract high, 13.96 euros per ounce. So a lot of people are monitoring the equity markets, which are actually holding up quite well, monitoring any kind of trade agreement talks. And it's really kind of a bit of a quiet day. I mean, a lot of spread trading going on between gold and silver, and then also platinum and palladium.
Well, that's what you were also saying, Bubba, right? That it's pretty quiet day to day, but you'll take it.
Well, it's quiet because I think we're working hard. I think 1500, 1530 is pretty solid support now. What do you think?
Yeah, 1500 is that critical level. 1484, obviously below that. 1515, that's another light spot that we're monitoring. A lot of people are, quite extended with futures contracts. They've caught just an incredible move up. I think, though, working stop losses down at those levels, I don't know about that as a strategy. You might get flushed out. The market might respond higher. So I look at those cheaper, weekly or cheaper dated option contracts, put options for the protection rather than the stop losses.
Let me ask you, Phil, we're also seeing huge inflows on the ETF front for gold. So do you think we're finally starting to see love for the metal from institutional and retail investors?
Yeah, we've seen an incredible move in there. We saw 489,000 ounces going to gold yesterday and about 1.2 million ounces going to silver ETFs. It's the largest amount of gold holdings we've seen all year long when you look at the derivatives as a whole. It becomes a little bit questionable as far as like a crowded trade or not, but I still like the underlying fundamentals. The chart pattern is real solid right now. One of the moving averages you always want to throw on your screen is that 20-day. Gold hasn't been able to close below it since June, so I think that'd be my little red flag if we did see that close below it.
So sorry, go ahead.
I know, Phil. So what do you think is really driving? You mentioned fundamentals, but what do you think is really driving the price? Yesterday we had a quick burst, and it came back, which we expected. But what's going to continue to drive it? And where do you think we can go? Where would be your next target if we get through that 1550, which we've made a couple attempts to get through already?
Yeah, I do believe that we're going to hit 1600. I think the underlying fundamentals are quite supportive. The Fed should be pretty aggressive cutting rates. They might disappoint at the tail end of it. Globally, interest rates are being cut everywhere. The trade war, trade agreement negotiations, that seems to be kind of the biggest factor because you look on Friday, it really got nasty between President Trump and China, and gold futures surged closing on the high. It seemed like talks were going to resume kind of on Sunday, and that's when that market went up and fell back down. So definitely it's most sensitive to trade talks, and I think that ultimately the next thing we'll transition to is monitoring the Fed.
Guys, also want to talk about that move we are seeing in silver. I know you both agree on this. You both love silver. We're at over $18 now as we're talking. Phil, silver looking good to you?
Yeah, I love silver. Okay, and the thing you got to watch on silver is the gold-silver ratio. Got up to 92, backed off to 86. It's the 200-day moving average is 86. We came back up a little bit. Once it punctured through there, that's when yesterday morning we saw a surge in buying of silver right around 7 a.m. Chicago time. So that ratio could really unfold. I mean, we could see into the 60s. That would push silver well into the $20 range. That's why I think we're seeing a little bit of silver. It's really playing some catch up. We saw quite a big move yesterday in silver. We're seeing it positive today where gold's just a little bit weaker. So people are playing that ratio, and I really love it.
I agree with that. I also watched the ratio. In fact, I was going to ask you about that. But since you brought it up, do you think silver has had maybe just a little bit too much of a parabolic move to the upside over the last couple of days? And would you expect a small pullback?
Yeah, I have been a little bit cautious. I mean, anytime you get the market that runs up, too far, too fast, it generally does have a bit of a correction. And some people that might be a little bit long in the tooth, if it does break at all, they might run for the exits. But I like it longer term fundamentally. I think that silver is incredibly, undervalued as an asset. And I think that the fundamental uses, whether it's medical, technology, solar demand, I think all of that aligns with silver and silver demand. And I think prices do have quite a bit more to move.
One last question for you on silver here, Phil, because Bubba over here in the previous segment was saying it would take a miracle for silver to get back to those highs of $50. Do you see it the same way?
Back up to the $50 level, are you asking?
Yeah. Back to those highs we saw once upon a time.
Yeah, I remember that, and it was terrible. That Sunday night, it actually was down like $6 coming into the morning. I mean, that was an incredible runaway. The margin requirements got up to like $25,000 a contract. I don't see us getting into that kind of situation. I think it's going to be more of an organized rally, but you never know. I mean, once the big money comes into these markets really move. We saw quite a bit of funds flow into platinum. Platinum's up $35 today. That's a smaller market. So it's possible it makes that parabolic move. I just don't see it quite yet.
Yep, and rhodium, as I mentioned to Bubba before, up $250 under the radar, rhodium. Phil Streible, thank you so much for joining us from the floor of the CME. It was fun, guys.
Yeah, it was a pleasure being with you guys.
Thanks, Phil. And thanks, Bubba. That was good fun. Come back anytime and co-host.
I'm with you anything.
All right.
Let's
Double
get 'em.
five. Come back.
Double five.
And thank you for watching this edition of Kitco News. We will be back tomorrow.